So I'll just go ahead and kick us off. Hi, everyone. For those of you who I have met before, it's great to see you again. For those of you who I have not met, hi, it's great to meet you, even virtually. My name is Rayanne Buskey, and I am the director of the McAndrews Fund for Athletics here at Dickinson. My role at the college is I partner with alumni and parents and pretty much anybody who's a fan of Red Devil athletics and wants to make an impact on the student athlete experience with their time, their talent, or their treasure. So I get to hang out with all of our coaches and all of our amazing student athletes every single day and call it a job and help impact their experience. So I am so excited that you all decided to take some time out of your evening to join us to hang out with our swim team a little bit. This is a new program that we're launching this year. Our team in the advancement office is super excited about it. We're hosting a lot of these with all of our coaches. So if you are a Red Devil super fan and want to tune into some of the other sessions with some of our other teams and coaches, be on the lookout for those sessions that are coming in the next couple of months and throughout the spring semester as well. But let's get started with why we're here to talk tonight, which is about the Dickinson swimming program. So if there was an agenda for tonight, which there's not really, we're going to keep it light, keep it casual, keep it fun, and give you guys an opportunity not only to get to know Coach, but some of the student athletes who are on the swim team as well. So we'll do some introductions. I'll turn it over to Coach. We'll actually get to meet some of our student athletes, and then we'll really kind of leave it open for you all to ask questions, pick their brains. I have some fun questions on deck if we can't think of any that I'm sure they'll love to answer. So we can always do that as well. So once again, thank you all so much for joining us tonight. We're so excited to have you. And without further ado, I will turn it over to Coach.
Awesome. Thank you very much. And just want to say thank you to everyone for joining us tonight. I really appreciate you taking the time to get to know me a little bit more, get to know our swimmers a little bit better, and just hear about our program and all the excitement that we have going on right now. Definitely want to give a shout out to the 4 swimmers that are joining us tonight. We ended practice at 6:30 on the dot, so they had to dry off, get changed, all that type of stuff, grab their things, eat, and then get back to their room so they could do this tonight. So I really appreciate that, and they're very excited to be with you all tonight as well. So a little bit about myself and my background, how I got here to Dickinson, kind of starting at the beginning. I'm from Central PA and Harrisburg. My family's still here. I started swimming at a young age, summer swim league, all the way up through club into high school. And then I swam locally against a team that will swim this year and have swam in the past, Messiah. Once my time at Messiah was finished up, I knew I wanted to pursue college coaching seriously and give it a run. So I spent 2 years at King's College in Wilkes-Barre as a graduate assistant coach, where I earned my master's degree and got to, no pun intended, get my feet wet for the first time in terms of college coaching, and really just fell in love with it. I was back and forth between club and college coaching, but I just think working with this age group and seeing young men and women achieve their goals in and out of the water is very rewarding for me. So after that, I spent the last 2 years in conference at Gettysburg, where I was the full-time assistant coach and assistant aquatics director, and really got to see behind the scenes and have a hand in what it takes to run a top 25 national level program. And I think that's what attracted me to Dickinson in the first place, was 1, the opportunity to stay close to home, but 2, I can see this being that level of program. When I was at NCAAs this past year coaching for Gettysburg, and I was actually doing the first round of the interview for this position, I was talking to the search committee about looking back behind me at the scoreboard, seeing all these top 50 liberal arts colleges in the country, 1 through 25 on the scoreboard. I'm like, you know what? Dickinson's there academically. So if we have the academics, why can't we have the swimming portion of it? And I just think it's going to take consistency and time over the next couple of years. But I don't think there's any reason we can't get there and view ourselves as that level of a program. We just had team meetings within the last 2 weeks, and it really was focused on our team goals and our core values and what it means to be a Red Devil between the men's and the women's team. And one of the common themes between both meetings was shifting our mentality as a program from the top down. Doesn't mean if you're the fastest or the slowest swimmer, head coach, assistant coach, and viewing ourselves as one of the top programs in this conference. Because if we think of ourselves as a average program, everyone else is too, but we're not average in everything that we do here, from our athletics to our academics to the opportunities and careers that everyone's going to have in their time once their time here is finished. We're not average. We're a top program, not in this conference, but in the country. And I think if we put the consistency in my two big expectations for the team over the next couple of years, we're going to be able to get there. My expectation number one is just give me your best effort every day. That applies to the classroom and what we do in the pool. If you can give me your best effort every day, I really like what we're going to get out of the practices. And two, just being able to put the team before yourself. That might mean swimming some events that you don't like or having a tough meet lineup. But I think if we're going to be successful as a program, it's going to take everyone's effort from the top all the way to the bottom. So with those two expectations in mind, I don't see any reason why we can't get to the top sooner rather than later. So that's what's been going on here at Dickinson. We're in our first week of practice. We kicked it off last week with our Midnight Madness, which is a huge success. The team had a ton of fun, brought some great energy at 12:01 in the morning, did a little bit of a different set this year than what they've done in the past in terms of a team challenge set that we started the clock when everyone began the workout and we stopped when everyone finished the workout. And everyone brought some great energy, was encouraging each other. We had the music going, and it was a great atmosphere. We also happened to have recruits here during that time, and they really enjoyed the experience as well. We're getting into it, encouraging our teammates, and really seeing themselves be here for the next 4 years, which I thought was great. The rest of this first week of practice, I think, has been going really well. You know, there's times during the summer and during the offseason why you kind of forget what it's like to be on deck and lose that energy and miss it a lot. And that time is really showing right now. I miss coaching, miss being on deck so much. It's been such an enjoyable week so far with a lot of change, a lot of different style of how we do things and what we're putting an emphasis on than was done in the past. And the team is really adapting to the change well. We're trying different things. We're doing different things in the weight room, in the water, focusing on underwaters more, just doing so much different stuff that the team is really taking well to. And that gets me really excited for where we're going the rest of the season. That's what we have going on right now. Rayanne, I'm going to toss it back to you.
Perfect. Thanks, Coach. So now I want to turn it over to some of our student athletes who are on the call. I'll let you guys decide who goes first, because if I just call you out, I'll get called out for calling you out. So whoever wants to go first, just introduce yourself, your name, where you're from, your class year, what you're studying, and what else you're involved in at Dickinson.
I can hop on first. So hi everyone, my name is Daniel. I go by Danny. I'm class of 2024, so senior this year. I'm international business and management major, econ minor. On campus, captain of the swim team, treasurer of club golf. That's really fun. Also part of the Order of Scroll and Key, and I'm also an admissions fellow / tour guide this year. So yeah.
I can go next. My name is Dalton Kendall, junior here on campus, data analytics major, and this year I'm a member of Student Senate. I'm a captain here on the swim team, as well as I'm the swim team representatives for SAC.
I can go next. I'm Olivia. I'm a junior on the swim team. I'm a neuroscience major. On campus, I'm captain of the swim team. I'm the junior class president. I'm the SAC representative for the women's team. I'm a philanthropy fellow. I work in campus life, and I'm a tour guide. So yeah.
I'm Bella. I'm a sophomore on the team this year. I'm also a neuroscience major, and I was an orientation leader this year, and I plan on being a tour guide this year as well.
Awesome. Thanks, guys, for introducing yourselves. Every time I work with students, I am amazed by the laundry list of things that they accomplish and that they're involved in and still manage to succeed both academically and athletically. So thank you guys all so much for being here. I really, really appreciate. And now you all have the opportunity to put some names and faces with those who are competing for Dickinson swimming this year. So now I kind of want to just turn this into an open forum. I know we've got some parents on the call. I know we got some alums who joined us as well. So now I just kind of want to open the floor. If any of you guys have any questions, comments, if you just want to cheer for these guys in the upcoming season, feel free to do that as well. So does anybody kind of want to kick off questions? If not, I'll go first. Okay, I'll go first. So guys, if you could just unmute and tell me favorite post-game, post-practice calf meal. Like coach just gave you some dire swim set at practice and you're starving. What is your go-to meal in the calf?
So I'll hop in first. So really varies on my mood, I'd say. So like if it's a practice and I'm just trying to get in and out of the calf. The alum, you guys don't know this, but we have this thing called Tex-Mex now. Just think of it as like a glorified Chipotle that's self-serve. So if I'm really just trying to get in and out, I'm really gonna serve myself up on the Tex-Mex. But if I have time to sit down and like, enjoy the meal with the team and whatnot, gonna go the parm rice with meatloaf. That's my go-to for sure.
I can go next. I really like the turkey fettuccine pasta and a big glass of chocolate milk. And that's like my go-to if they have the pasta. So, yeah.
I can go next. If they got wing toss, I'm smacking that down. If they have salad, honestly, I'll go for the salad. Sometimes I'm feeling healthy, but usually smacking down the wing toss. If they got chicken tenders, smacking that down. Also, if they have fries, I'm going for that too. But yeah, the fries are good.
Perfect. I loved all of those answers. So does anybody else have any questions they want to ask our student athletes or coach?
Oh, I can give it a try. Can folks hear me?
Yep, I got you, Mitchell. It's good to see you. It's good to hear you. I can't see you, but it's good to see you again.
Oh, I'm like hustling home from work and everything. I'll turn my camera on real quick. I don't know. Maybe folks can see me now. How about for Coach Anthony, as you're not only getting used to Dickinson swimming and to the Dickinson community as a whole, Anthony, have you found any spots in Carlisle that you love to grab a bite yet?
That's a good question. When I first started, I was big on trying to grab lunch at a bunch of different places around town. And then I realized very quickly how much I was spending on lunch about a month. And I was like, okay, probably need to pull it back a little bit. So basically the whole summer, my plan was to try out all these different places. And then I ended up packing like every day. So that was challenging. I think the best meal I've had so far. I remember the name of the noodle place in town. Issei Noodle?
Issei.
Is that it?
Yep.
Issei? Yeah, I love their pad thai. It was a massive portion size for lunch, but it hit the spot. So that's probably my top choice right now. For lunch, like a sandwich place, I've gone back and forth. I haven't found my number one sandwich in Carlisle yet. I think I've tried about 4 different places, but looking for a great turkey and cheese for lunch. That's my go-to.
The Mellow Bird at Grazery. It's a turkey bacon avocado sandwich, and it's to die for.
That has been one of the one I've tried.
Anybody else have any questions?
Yeah, how about the meets? What are the meets like? The stands packed full of parents and students, or is the stands fairly empty?
I think it's a great question for one of our swimmers to answer. Talk a little bit about the past couple seasons, how that's been like in the stands.
Yeah, I can go for this one. Yeah, so we actually have a pretty good turnout. On campus, we really try and support other teams. So, for instance, volleyball, swimmers are always going out to their games. Sometimes we'll get their teams to watch us. But yeah, usually the stands are pretty packed. We're usually able to get a good number out. Yeah, and students will filter in, filter out. It's hot in there, but it's good. It's a lot of fun, and we'll have a lot of people in there cheering. And when it gets loud, it's really loud, so it's a lot of fun.
Good.
That's something I would agree with. I remember swimming. So when I swam for Messiah, we swam at Dickinson. I believe 2 out of my couple years swimming at Messiah. We swam here twice, and all I can remember is it was pretty loud. It was a Tuesday night meet, and it was pretty loud. I think the sound bounces off the ceiling really well. So I'm expecting that to be a loud environment for our home meets, which I'm really excited about. Nothing's worse than a quiet meet.
Cool. Thanks.
Anybody else have any questions? If not, I'll pop in with another one. I'll ask the student athletes, what are you all most excited for this season?
Yeah, I'll go. We have an inter squad meet coming up next weekend. Really looking forward to. So Anthony's putting that together. I think it's gonna be red versus white. I'm not sure what the colors are, what the color scheme is gonna be yet. But definitely looking forward to that. We've never had anything like that before. Usually the quad meet is our first time like getting up and racing each other. So I think it'll be fun little friendly competition. Might get a little too competitive at times, but it's always good to get up and race your teammates before you actually get into the meet. So that's something I'm looking forward to. So next week.
I can go quickly. I'm really looking forward to that York meet. Last year they barely beat us out, and that's not happening again. I'm excited. Our team's working really hard right now. We very much keep telling our team this phrase. It's our time to make a statement, and so I think that again, we're here to make a statement. We're putting in the work in the water, we're also putting in the work in the classroom, and I think it's again time to make our statement, and we're not letting them win this year.
I personally am really excited about bringing people up at practice and stuff this year. It seems like practice has been very positive environment and everyone's been really excited to get to practice, which I think is a big change from last year. Just the excitement of getting there and everyone supporting each other. So I'm just excited for like the energy of practice.
I'm super excited for training trip. We go to Fort Lauderdale, Florida for a week and we train, and our hotel's like right by the beach, and it's like the time where the team gets super close. So I'm very excited for that.
I love all of those answers. And Dalton kind of stole my next question, but which team on your schedule has it coming this year? Like, who are you most looking forward to competing against? I know Dalton's answer, it's York. So who are you all looking forward to competing against this year?
Right next to York, I'm gonna have to say the Bears, your sinus. I know with a little bit of beef going on, like literally there's no beef, but it's just like really funny to have that one rival. So that I don't know if the women's team has the same anger that the men's team has against them, but we really like racing them. They're a really small team, just like us. So the numbers really count. So we always get excited for that meet against your sinus or in the quad meet or whatever.
I'm excited to race F&M this year. Last year, it was such a close meet and came down to like the final relay, and they beat us by only a couple points. So I'm excited to race F&M.
I was also going to say F&M. That was just like a crazy hyped up meet, and I like swam the fastest I swam all season at that meet because everyone was cheering everyone on so much.
Catherine, I did see your question in the chat about when the website is going to be updated with the schedule. I am going to check with our athletic communications team about when we are scheduled to take headshots for the swimmers and when those bios will be updated and when the schedule is going to go out. So I'm going to check on that with athletic communications, and then I'll circle back with you after this, if that's okay. If you have my email, I just shoot me an email, and then we can connect offline about that. Does anybody, Coach, who are you most excited to compete against this year?
That's a good question. I could go in 2 different ways. One, I'm really excited to race Messiah. I know they weren't on the schedule previously, and just racing their alma mater, I'm pretty excited for that one. On the other hand, I'm very excited for the Gettysburg meet. just to see all the old swimmers that I was coaching and see how they're doing, check in, just kind of have a little bit of a reunion, but also to show them what we're up to now and the shift in our program and our mentality and how we're changing up training and everything. And it's not so much about the win or the loss in that meet. It's just about kind of making a statement. I think Dalton put that pretty well earlier. But I'm really excited for the whole season. It's hard to narrow it down, but those are two meets that come to mind.
That's awesome. I do have another question in the chat, asking about how many members are on the men's team and the women's team, and about and where that kind of compares with some other schools in the Centennial.
Yep. So right now we have 16 men and 15 women on the team. So 31 total. That's probably right around the middle. I know SWAT, Gettysburg, and F&M are going to be carrying bigger rosters this year, probably north of 50 for each team. Ursinus is right around us in terms of numbers. They're in the low to mid 30s total. McDaniel, I believe, has a smaller roster. I'm not entirely sure about Bryn Mawr. I think they might be a little bit larger than us, might be around 18 to 20. I think Wash is, again, right around the same size as us. So we're probably an average team, definitely not one of the largest three, but we're looking to change that in this next recruiting cycle and get our team number up to 20 to 22 per side.
Perfect. And I think I forgot to make all of our athletes say this earlier, but what events do you guys all do? I should have asked that earlier and I didn't.
I swim, back, and IM, and fly, and a little bit of freestyle.
I swim 50 free, 100 free, and 200 free.
I also swim the 50 free, 100 free, 200 free.
I swim the 100 and 200 breast and occasionally the 2 IM as well.
Only occasionally. Only occasionally, Bella? Okay, perfect. Does anybody else have any other questions? Big
Yeah,
questions.
I have one for Coach. I have one here for Coach. This is your first year at Dickinson. Are there any traditions that you hope to introduce to the team this season?
That's a great question. I think one of them was, in my own way, the Midnight Madness. While I was happy that we continued the tradition of Midnight Madness, I think the way that we did it, swimmers can correct me if I'm wrong, was pretty radically different than what was done in the past in terms of we actually did a set. We did a workout together and it was timed and everyone did it together. And that's something that I'm looking forward to each year going forward now, so we can compare and look back. All right, this is the team's time from last year. Let's see if we can beat it. And hopefully, who knows, 5, 10, 15 years down the line, we have all of those times from those Midnight Madness, can compare and contrast over the years. Like, oh, this is a really fast year. Or be like, whoa, wonder why everyone was so slow this year. And just kind of have fun with that. As of right now, not any other traditions yet, or at least that we're going to share out with the team yet. Maybe some that'll come a little bit later as we work through the season. But that's it for right now. I'm still learning what traditions are important to the team from the past that they'd like to carry over, like the Midnight Madness, and find ways that we can kind of change it and make it our own with this current team and see how that evolves going forward.
Awesome. So Coach, I know this is your first year, for those of you who I haven't met before, I joined Dickinson in May of 22. So I'm still kind of a newbie. I learned something new about Dickinson just about every day. So Coach, I'll ask you this. What is one of the most interesting things that you learned about Dickinson since you've been here? Because it does kind of have its own traditions and customs that what's one of the things that's been most interesting to learn about since you got here?
The mermaid. One. So this summer I took out. It was about beginning of June, and I was like, you know what? I don't really know campus that well, and all the students are gone. I got to try and figure out where I'm going here a little bit. So booked a tour with admissions, had someone walk me around, and I'm trying to remember the name. Neville, I'm blanking on his last name, was my tour guide, a football player. And he told me the story of the mermaid, and I was like, that is so fascinating, because in the couple lead up the weeks leading up to that, while people were still on campus, I was seeing some people on the team that had hats with the mermaid on. I saw the stickers around campus, and I was getting a little bit confused, honestly, on what our mascot was. So I was like, what is this all about? I was like, if mermaids are mascot, that's actually kind of cool. I mean, we had mermaids and devils, but it was cool to hear the story behind that and what the meaning is for that. But that was a cool one that caught me off guard.
That's awesome. It's there's actually a mermaid on top of Old West, and I went through a same process where I was like, there's mermaids everywhere, and I didn't quite understand why, but yeah, that's really cool. I do have one more question in the chat from Bruce, who's asking about the pool. And his question says, is the pool in good shape? Does it need repairs yet?
I like to think it's in pretty good shape. I think the swimmers could comment on how it is in the water, but I like to think we're taking a really good job of taking care of it over this summer with limited usage between camps and other people for open swim, but made it through the summer really on top of keeping the water quality good, keeping the temperature level, keeping the level of the water, staying on top of all of that, and making sure that we take care of this facility, because I think it is a great facility. Like, sure, F&M has their Olympic pool and Gettysburg had their pool within the last 10 years. But I think a pool like this with 8 lanes and a diving well is such a huge asset, especially in Division III swimming. Not a lot of schools have the 8 lanes, and not a lot of schools have space for warm up and cool down during meets. So I think that's something that's really unique and special to us. So we have to take care of that facility.
Perfect. Thanks, Coach. I am going to put one last call out for questions. If anybody has any last questions that they want to ask, nothing's too small to ask about. Anything you guys want to talk to Coach, ask Coach or any of our student athletes. Okay, perfect. So this is the part where I get to tell you a little bit about the McAndrews Fund, and if you guys want to take the opportunity to support these student athletes. One of the things about the Division III athletic experience is that I've absolutely fallen in love with it, but it does need resources to run. And so the McAndrews Fund is a great opportunity to support all of these kids on their athletic journey throughout their time at Dickinson, and make sure that they have the world-class experience that they deserve. So if you're interested in learning about more ways that you can get involved or stay engaged with the program, please do not hesitate to reach out to my office. I'm happy to have a conversation with you about the multitude of ways that you can support the swim program throughout the season. One of the other ways to stay really to support this swim team is to stay engaged. Follow them on social media, follow their stories throughout the season as they're posted on the website. Be a fan, be in the stands, you know, come out and cheer these kids on as they compete this year. But really, we really encourage you to stay plugged in and stay engaged with the program and support them on their journey this year. So Coach, I'll turn it over to you if you have any closing thoughts, and then I think we'll call it a night.
Awesome. Thank you. So as I said before, I think this is a really exciting time for our program. I've been saying this to our team, that's been the common word and theme since I started, was how excited everyone is. And it is an exciting time. I'm excited. The swimmers are excited. I think recruits are excited too. That's one thing that I've been sharing with them, of this exciting time in our program. And they really have a chance to get in on the ground floor of something new and where we're building this program for where we want it to be. So I just want to thank you all for your support tonight, beforehand, and going forward. Any and all support is greatly appreciated, not just for me, but for this entire team in this program, any swimmers that have come before them or will come after them. We greatly appreciate your support. So thank you. And that's all I have.
Perfect. Well, thank you everybody so much for joining us tonight. Feel free to leave a good luck message in the chat for all of the kids as they start their season this year. But thank you all so much for joining us. We really appreciate it. And I hope you all have a great rest of your night.